Hey everybody, your host Class, and we're going to get into a very exciting topic today. A little bit of shade being thrown at Bernie Sanders by a comedian reporter named Jimmy Dore. I don't know if he's also a journalist, but I guess he's a journalist as well. And here's a little clip.
So here's my first two theories on this was she reached out to the Sanders campaign to endorse them, and they didn't return her call because they haven't been even acknowledging her existence, even though she's had his back through this whole campaign. Yes, was that they turned it down. That was my second guess, that she offered her endorsement to Bernie Sanders and they turned it down. So those are my two. So I was sure this was a mismanagement, that he was thinking if he got wiped out on Tuesday, he was going to endorse Joe Biden on Wednesday. So, Bernie had rebuffed her the whole campaign. They didn't remember. If you remember, I interviewed Tulsi a week ago, was it? And I said, now, do you have some kind of coordinated progressive response to how to deal with coronavirus, how to deal with Joe Biden, how to deal with these debates? Have you and the Sanders campaign in any kind of conversation? No. And she just very terse, no. So, I'll interpret that. Still, the Sanders campaign wouldn't even acknowledge her. They said there's only two people left in the race. Remember they did that? So if that's the reason why, so what I'm thinking, and Tulsi already knows that Bernie is going to endorse Biden. That's happening. You know it. I know it. So when she's just beating Bernie to the punch. So now she was out getting Bernie's back. Bernie froze her out. Bernie did to her what the establishment did to Bernie. So now she was out getting Bernie's back. Bernie froze her out. Bernie did to her what the establishment did to Bernie. So she was in no man's land. And so she's not going to leave the party just like Bernie. And so she just decided to beat Bernie to the punch. The campaign's over. There's no way you can campaign. She told people on Tuesday, don't fucking vote. This is stupid and we should stop this. Bernie and the DNC and Biden said, go ahead, go vote. Why didn't Bernie ever say anything bad about Joe Biden? Bernie went around repeating Joe Biden's whole campaign slogan, which is Joe's a decent guy and he can beat Trump. So it's really sad. There's no leader of the progressive movement right now. Bernie cannot stop propping up the establishment. He won't stop. So going to endorse Joe Biden, even though Joe Biden has already said, even in the middle of a pandemic, he's not going to sign a Medicare for all, even if it gets passed by the House and the Senate. Bernie's going to endorse that guy. It's coming. We're in the middle of a fight. There's people who are going to literally die because of that.
But he signed that form who's running in the Democratic Party.
Right.
They will support the nominee.
Everybody
signed it.
Everybody signed it. And if you're angry at Tulsi right now, you're going to be just as angry at Bernie in a second. I was sure he was going to drop out Wednesday. For him to let that vote go on Tuesday without screaming at the top of his lungs, we're in the middle of a fight. There's people who are going to literally die because of that. That's the shit Nazis do. Even ISIS wouldn't do that. And as much affection that I have for Bernie Sanders and gratitude for him and what he's done, I lost a shit ton of respect for him because of that.
Okay, so let's get into it a little bit, shall we? Okay, so a couple things. So Bernie Sanders, I will say two things. He needed to improve on being a little more aggressive, a little more because he was already going to get attacked by the mainstream media, so it wouldn't have made a difference if he would have kept, really pushing his values and really attacking his opponent and really pointing out the mainstream media's bias. A lot more. He did a little bit, but not as often as I thought. And second thing being, I wish that he would have had reworded a couple things a little bit different, so I've been less repetitive and political, because I always heard almost everything he said. It almost sounds like the same thing he says in his interviews, in his campaigns, in his debates, and it's kind of like it can get kind of dry and sounds politic kind of savvy more than it does feel compassion. So switching up the words a little bit here and there with more meaning and with more like feel would have probably helped out too. My argument to Jimmy, which happened to be, come back in 30 years and tell me if Tulsi Gabbard has made all the political right choices. If she's made all of it, she's truly proved herself to be progressive for 30 years with no mistakes, then I will kiss your butt. But since she hasn't done that yet, she's brand new, you got to keep to mind, Bernie Sanders has been doing politics for 30 years. He's been there with the civil rights movement, and I know you know all this. He also inspired 2016 AOC to, well, not in 2016 for AOC, but after his campaign in 2016, AOC got inspired to run in office, and she won. And she's a progressive, and she's on a Green New Deal and everything. Cenk Uygur, I mean, I gotta believe he got a little inspired by Bernie to actually try to run in the district for California. So he has made some movements, and the fact that he's changed companies from the minimum wage to now 15 an hour, or just to 15 an hour. He's changed a few companies to do that. So he has done some good things. While even now, even if let's say he drops out, he's still going to probably inspire another person to run office. So the dude is really doing good, even if he's not going to win. And granted, he should have won but let's also keep in mind, he went against two establishment politicians. The first time, they went hard on him. Corruption up the yang when it came to polling. When it came to the campaign trail and the primary, with Hillary Clinton using every influence you could including having influence in the DNC with Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who used to run her campaign, and so on. So he had that to go against, and then this whole sexist thing that they kept putting out there. Even though Bernie has been he's fought for civil rights movements. He's also been supportive of the LGBTQ community since before politicians thought it was popular. So the guy has done some things. Attacking him consistently and just making it seem like all the stuff he was saying was pretty much, he made it seem like Bernie wasn't doing enough. And that's crazy to say that. Yes, Bernie should have done better when it came to his strategical moves in the campaign trail. But as far as has he been doing enough? He's been doing more. He's done a lot. Let's make the argument. Like, how much stuff have you done compared to Bernie Sanders? For the entire people, for the people. Just think about that for a second. You can't make that. You can't just keep, I'm going to attack Bernie, because it just makes you look bad. You didn't even attack Biden. Throughout the beginning of the video, he lets Tulsi talk the whole time. I'm going to leave you the original video in the description below, but he lets Tulsi talk the whole time. It's not too long, but he always interrupts people, always. But with Tulsi, he has like this thing where he's like, I hate to say this and it's gonna sound graphic, but like her imaginary, cock. He's stroking it. Because he doesn't say anything bad about Tulsi. She's done some things. I could probably look some stuff up now and find something that she did that wasn't progressive. And yet somehow, I think she was at another party at some point before she became her own. She started doing a party by herself or trying to run as a Democrat. Look, you gotta show the good qualities. I'm gonna let you know right now, I should have told you in the beginning of the video, I'm a Bernie supporter, because I feel like that's necessary to say, because that way you guys know where my rhetoric is, and that I'm not holding anything and hiding anything from you guys. I'm gonna be honest with you if I'm being a little biased or if I'm being unbiased, and if you guys feel that way, you can always share it with me. I just feel like Jimmy Dore needs to kind of take the tone down. His girl gives him more credit. Stephanie, he gives him more credit than Jimmy Dore does. He gives him a, like, I respect Bernie, but he's always kind of been putting Bernie down throughout this whole campaign. If you watch some of his videos, it's pretty much just an entire collage of videos of him pretty much saying Bernie isn't doing enough. But I will say this, Biden is my friend. You didn't need to say that 50,000 times. You should have just. You had it on record already. Just let it go. Already said it a few times, and that's it. You should have just been focusing on how the media has been covering you, how Biden is more and more really hard. Nail him with it, and that's it. But anyways, that's it for me. If you guys have any opinions or you want to leave a comment, please, leave it down below. Or if you want to share this video with someone, please do. They like to get informed. You want to share some knowledge. I like that. That's it for us. Catch you guys later. Peace.